Hello, hello, hello. Check, check, check. Good morning, good morning. Little Saturday morning stream here in the studio. Let's see here if we can get this. One of my lights just stopped working randomly. Kind of weird. Oh, well, is what it is. Um, what up, YouTube? It's Trader the Living here. Saturday morning, having some coffee on the MPC. I'm going to try and work out here soon a way to have a second camera that can look down so you can see what I'm doing on the MPC here. But we'll kind of hang out for a second, see if anybody comes in to the chat. And yeah, I'm going to mess around with just a simple beat that I'm doing on the MPC this morning, just playing around. Let me put my headphones on. So I've got just kind of a simple beat going, and I was playing around with the granulator. I think it's one of the more underrated cool effects on the MPC is the granulator effect. You can do a lot with it, and on the MPC X, one of the amazing things on it is it's got all of the Q links. So when you're using any of the VSTs or anything, it's assigned to all Q links, so you can control the effects without having to use the touchscreen, which is pretty darn cool. If you guys could let me know how the levels are, if you can hear me, can hear the beat going on the MPC, let me know if everything sounds okay. I'd really appreciate it. Let's stop this. So yeah, it's Saturday here. Just having some coffee, hanging out in the studio. I went to the thrift store yesterday and went digging in some crates for some vinyl and found some cool stuff. It was half off day, everything in the store, so I got a killer deal on a whole bunch of records. Maybe I'll show those in a little bit, but I was going to maybe do some sampling on the turntable into my MPC today, and then maybe play some synths and stuff over it. Yeah, but let me know, guys, how the sound is, if you can hear me clearly, too loud, too low, if you can hear the MPC. As I said, it's just kind of a simple beat that I've just been messing around with, and then I was going to kind of show the granulator. It's got some really, really interesting stuff. What up, Adrenaline? Drums sound good? Sounds good, all levels. Hear my favorite voice clear. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Much appreciated. Yeah, the MPC XSE is probably my it's the centerpiece of my studio, and control everything in here. The IO on it is insane. How you doing, Adrenaline? Good, man. Thanks for popping in. Just chilling in the studio today, making some beats, and it's gonna do some sampling, some records, and chilling, having coffee. Thought I'd pop on live and see how everyone's doing. Gonna need to add a sample to this here in a minute, but I just wanted to play around with the granulator. I really do. Really do think the granulator is an underrated, really cool effect that you can get that comes stock on the MPC. Really, really dope effect. Really good for transitions or intros. It's just cool. I love granular synthesis. I think it fascinates me. I don't have a ton of things that do granular, but the stuff that I do have mostly is in the box, pigments and different things that I have there. But I love this granulator effect. The plugin that comes stock on the MPC. Really dope. You can mess with like the pitch. Grain shape. Get the window going to length. Mess with the feedback. Window. It's got a density setting. But for now, let's go ahead and turn this off and let's go find a sample to go over this beat. Let's see. Let's see what we can find here. Go ahead and stop this beat for a moment. My only one complaint I have on the MPC X SE is on the MPC one. I love that it's got the big round encoder that you can sample through, but it doesn't have the button to push on that. That's the only one thing about the X that is a bummer, because that was really cool on the one. You could just scroll down, click on it. You know, you have to like use there's a little keypad to go up, down, left, right, and you have to hit that middle button or enter, I guess, on it. Enter might work too, but let's see here. Let's go down here. What do we got here? Let's see. Let's go to this one. JJ Barnes. I've got some samples in here from Marlo Diggs. Shout out Marco, good dude. Some Jan Hammer, Don Alias, and Eddie Gomez. Let's see. Kind of like that one. I'll load a couple of these. We'll try them out. Really looking forward to MPC 3.0 coming out and trying that out. All right. And we'll go into our sample edit. Let's see. See how that sounds over the beat. Gonna chop it just a little bit here. It's going to chop and wait, go back into trim. I'm gonna trim it a little. see here. Let's go like right there. Yeah, let's do that. Okay. And let's chop that up. Let's see what we got here. Assign this. We'll make a new program, number 2. Let's see, go back out to main and okay, stop this. 1, 2. All right, go back into our sample edit. Make a nice key group out of that. A little pop there. I'm going to go to this other sample. Just try that for now. I'm just making this is to mess with the granulator is why I'm doing this, to kind of show what you can do. I'm going to just lay that down real quick. start with the piano space preset they have, and then just kind of use it to taste. Get some really wild stuff with the granulator. It's got some really interesting textures, granular, raising the density. Really do cool stuff to samples. Bring the length down a little bit. That's with the feedback. When you automate with it, it can do some really, really cool stuff. Hey, what up, Viral Beats? Good to see you, man. Just messing around with the MPC this morning, having some coffee, showing some stuff you can do with the granulator plugin in the MPCs. I think it's doesn't get enough shine as one of the I think better plugins and what you can do with it, even with like some of the built-in VST instruments, but just on samples, you can do really cool stuff. Turn the feedback back up. Really cool for transitions, you know, just kind of like bridging into other parts and stuff. You can like do some cool, interesting things. And really take samples into really crazy territory. If you take the shape, here, this is the stereosphere. You can skew it. Then you have the grain shape. You can go from a square to a triangle. Go way up to square here. Make the length longer. Just pretty cool. It's I think it's just a really underrated effect in here. I find myself using it. It's one of my go-tos, along with a few others, but I think it's one of the more special ones, and you don't see a lot of people talking about it. You know, a lot of people say it doesn't have a lot of use in certain types of music, like if you're making boom bap and stuff, but I think you can do it. I think it comes into play with any kind of musical genre or style, personally. Just some really cool textures. Piano space one, yeah. I know the one you mean. Piano. I just passed it here a little bit ago. Oh yeah, yeah. Piano space. That is a cool one. Yeah. Just it's very subtle. I like that. I like the Koto. The Haunting Keys one is cool. I always kind of tweak them a bit, like mess with the grain shape and the pitch. just cool stuff. But yeah, um, just thought I want to get a second camera somehow so you guys can see the screen, so people can see like what I'm actually doing. I'm not that savvy yet with these live streams, but we'll get there. We'll get there. Make dope ones like Viral. Viral does some really cool live streams. If you're not subscribed to Viral Beats, go right now and subscribe to his channel. Does really cool stuff. Excellent videos. He's working on some new albums. Yeah, Viral's a cool dude and does really good stuff. Does some history of hip hop stuff and different videos that are just excellent shit. So I was gonna show. I went digging yesterday. I started digging in the crates for vinyl back in geez, um, early '90s, like when I was like just out of high school. I inherited a few records, like a small collection from family, and kind of grew it from there. And I've been digging ever since. Sometimes periods will go by where I don't, but I've amassed a huge, massive vinyl collection at this point. I've got I've got one like the collection that I have in the studio here, but then um, I have a bunch in storage, and a lot of it's like stuff that's not, it's stuff that I've just picked up for sampling purposes, and some of it I just got to listen to for my personal tastes in music. But I kind of just get I'm very eclectic and open when I dig. I buy like world music and all kinds of stuff to because you never know, if you sample from vinyl, then you know that you can find a gem on like almost anything. Thanks, man. I'll be back at it again today. Oh, sweet, man. I'll try and be there. Um, I got some stuff I'm going to be doing with the kids. We got, the weekend here. We're going to go get some haircuts and maybe try and do something fun this afternoon. But if I'm around, I'll definitely jump in on this on your stream and check out your video. Or if not, I'll catch the replay, man. Show the records I picked up today. So I also collect, besides just regular 33s, I do 78s, and of course 45s, 7 inches and stuff. But got a grip of it was awesome because it was half off at the thrift store yesterday, half off everything in the store, and so it was 50 cents a record. But I got a bunch of like really old 78s, not a bunch but a stack. uh I'm roaming from my home in Wyoming, Harold Grant's orchestra, along with the Cherry Bounce. I like I am a fan of old kind of folk and country music. I have a collection of that. I don't often listen to it, but when I am in the mood, home on the range, man. But yeah, these ones are all really old school. Gene Autry. There was some good old country in here and some folk, but those ones are okay. These ones I probably won't. I mean, I do sample from 78 occasionally. We'll see what some of them are like. Shame on You, Spade Cooley. Who knows? A Pair of Broken Hearts, Nobody's Darling But Mine. Yeah, some real old school stuff. But then I got. We'll start out with. There's some country in here. I kind of grabbed anything that looked somewhat interesting. Got the hit theme Dueling Banjos from the movie Deliverance. You can't go wrong with that, right? You hear that? Like, it was just in really good condition. And I was like, oh man, yeah. I have a whole collection of like movie soundtrack stuff. So I had to grab that. I've never seen that one. Got a bunch of Mexican music from Julio Wechter and the Baja Marimba Band. Got a whole selection of their stuff. Some of this stuff I'll go through and use like stem separation and like different, just steal like one shots and instruments off it to use for whatever. Build like a little collection of like Hispanic Got the voice of Scott McKenzie. Life like an old time movie. I mean, look at that dude. You know that dude had some jams. You know, he got ladies too. Look at that. Look at that outfit. Celeste, Don't Make Promises. San Francisco. Yeah, a lot of these are, it's when you thrift store dig, you find what you can. And like I said, I like some, here's some country and western bullseyes with Dave Dudley, Tex Williams, Tex Ritter. But then stuff like this, Club 15. It's got Muriel Grosso, teenage consultant from the Campbell Soup Company. The Club 15 exercise routine. See, sometimes on records like these, you'll find like crazy like samples, of like old synths and all kinds of stuff. So you never know. Sometimes they're complete duds, but occasionally it's just, even if I just find like one or two sounds on it, it's worth it to me. And I already had this record, and I have like the Japanese import that I bought, but this is Getz and Gilberto, Stan Getz and Oao Gilberto, featuring Antonio Carlos. This is an amazing jazz record. I've sampled this in the past. I've never seen this version of it. I have two others. I have the Japanese import and I have the original, but it's in pretty decent shape, not scratched up or anything. So I was like, 50 cents, I'll take another copy of that just because just really, really good jazz record. Excellent sampling on this. We got Hoosier Hot Shots. Let me get this way so you guys see a little better. Hoosier Hot Shots, Country Kiddin'. Them hillbillies are mountain willies now. So just some bluegrass hillbilly music. Slim Whitman, a traveling man. A lot of country on this score. It happens. It happens. The best of Tex Williams. Like I said, I kind of grab anything that looks like something I haven't seen, because after you dig for a long time, you'll see like the same records over and over again. Yeah, you never know what you're gonna find, man. I got California Bloodlines, John Stewart. No idea, never seen this one, and we'll see. I'm gonna go through and play through them. One good thing also about digging is and listening to music for samples is you find yourself listening to records and styles of music that you normally wouldn't, and that you're just not a huge fan of or whatever, but it kind of gets your ear listening in different ways and learning different styles of music that you normally wouldn't. And I think it's helpful overall for just being a musician, whether you're a DJ or just sample or play an instrument. It's just it's good to like keep an open ear, like keeping an open mind, in my opinion. But I got more on this. It was a pretty good score. Some of them, we'll see what else. I don't even know. I just kind of grabbed a bunch of stuff. Breakout, Mitch Ryder, and the Detroit Wheels. Little Latin Lupe and the Midnight Hour covers. I love finding like weird records that have covers on it, because you can find some really cool stuff. Let Me Sing, Brenda Lee, could have some possibly some good vocal chops on it. Got Happy Trails, Quicksilver. So this one's Gary Duncan, Dave Freeberg, Greg Elmore. So it looks like it's sort of maybe country, but then kind of folky too. I love the artwork also on vinyl records. One of the reasons. More of the Baja Marimba Band are Animals Only, Puff the Magic Dragon, How Much Is That Doggy in the Window, The Last of the Red Hot Llamas. Yeah. Here is Alan Hancock College from Santa Maria, California, a cappella choir. So this could potentially have some good a cappella chops to snag. Definitely, yeah, man. Like, I think that's one of the best parts of digging and being a vinyl collector, is just listening to different stuff. Got some Slim Whitman. This one looks like it could be interesting. Richard P. Havens, 1983. You can see it's got it's a double album. I haven't heard this one, and again, like I've been digging for years. I've never seen this record, so I go to garage sales, record shops, thrift stores, um, anywhere I can find records for. Usually, I try and find them cheap. I try and find deals on them. But that's probably going to be one of the first ones I throw in. In fact, I'm going to put that right up there on the turntable as maybe the first. I have a feeling there might be some good stuff on that one. And then Feliciano, California Dreaming, some covers and stuff. And then I'll do the last little section here of what I grabbed. Oh, vinyl's so heavy. All right. That's the worst part of being a vinyl collector is like when you move. I just copped some vinyl from Goodwill and I got some really good stuff from Second and Charles. Nice. Hell yeah, gentlemen. It's a good feeling, man. It's always fun to just come back and, with the stuff to the studio. And yeah, got Ami Stewart, Knock on Wood. Keep going the wrong way there. So this one, never know. Could have some good stuff on it. And then some classics. Otis Redding, Dock of the Bay. I mean, come on. That's a an all-time classic. I love Otis Redding. Never seen this one. And it looks like they had this one priced at 15 and I didn't notice that. And I got it for 50 cents. So score. And most all of them are really good condition. Whoever owned this record took pretty good care of it. A little bit dusty. This one I actually own. When I used to do DJing and scratching and stuff, I had like multiple copies of this. And I already have like 3 or 4, but this one's sealed. It's just completely sealed, never opened. So I was like 50 cents, I'll grab it. It's got just like it's like a collection of different artists. Soul Lake, Mason Williams, just a cool like collection. I used to do a little part with 2 of these that I would scratch and sample to beat when I'd use the my brother's SP202 with a drum beat going. The Country Way, Charlie Pride. I love Charlie Pride. I have almost everything he's done. I even have 8 tracks Charlie Pride. Got Sons of the Pioneers. So yeah, a lot of country and stuff that like a lot of it I probably won't find samples on, but I'm a collector, I collect that stuff. Of course, here's Johnny, Tonight Show, magic moments from the Tonight Show with all kinds of old stars from the past that it has like samples and comedy bits and stuff. So you never know what you find on there. It could be some good little samples of George Burns, or there's Aretha Franklin and Billie Holiday, Lenny Bruce. So we'll see what I find on there. Roy Clark, Super Picker, Riders in the Sky. So yeah, this one's a little warped, but the vinyl looked okay. Oh, this one looks like another one that could be good sample material. Joe Sullivan, Piano. I like to sample piano and either chop it up or make key groups out of instrument. That's one thing that's awesome about the MPC. But yeah, could be some good stuff on there. We'll see. Never know. I take a lot of shit from my family because of the size of my collection that I keep buying. They're like, "You're buying more records?" And it's like, well, yeah, I'm not gonna stop buying records. That's something I do. I collect vinyl. That's one of my big hobbies. So, Righteous Brothers, Standards, Realization. This one's looks like it could be psychedelic. Johnny Rivers, kind of trippy cover. Could have some good stuff on it. You never know if you haven't heard it. One more of the Baja Marimba Band. I got a whole collection of them now. And last is the Carter Family, which I'm a big Johnny Cash and Carter Family. This one's interesting. It's got like the interesting. I can't say that word right anymore for some reason. Yeah, just looks like it's got a lot A lot of stuff on it. I love the Carter family's voice. But yeah, man, just weekend scores at the thrift shop of vinyl. Hell yeah, beats in bed. I'll keep collecting, man. Yeah, it's I don't care what people say. If they want to like be like, why would you possibly need 10,000 records? And it's like, well, I just enjoy it. It's something I like to do. So, um, but when you move, it sucks, man. The weight of them, having to move your records is like the worst part. Vinyl weighs so much. Luckily, I think I'm not going to be moving for a long time. We're settling in here. But yeah, I'm gonna go through them later. Maybe I'll stream when I do. Um, Looking for some samples and trying to make a beat and stuff. But how you guys doing, man? Everybody good? Appreciate you guys all dropping by, hanging out. Yeah, I was just drinking some coffee, playing with the MPC, the granulator. Oh, thanks, Beats in Bed. Appreciate it, man. Much appreciated. Yeah, Viral. I'm telling you, like, move first. It is a pain. It builds real quick, and man, I've scored. So I got really fortunate a couple years ago. No, it's actually a while back. So I was buying this old pinball machine from this warehouse, and it was a friend of mine had known somebody, and he was like, "Hey, there's this pinball machine for like $400, which is pretty cheap for." It was like a '70s electromechanical one. Bobby Orr, it's a hockey pinball machine. I'm a hockey fan, so I was like, "That's one that I really wanted." And we went there to get it, and they usually go for like, a couple thousand or something. So, and it needed some work. It was a little beat up and old. But when we were there, they were like closing this warehouse of this old, it was like a company that used to route, cigarette machines and jukeboxes and pinball machines, and they had like a whole warehouse just full of stuff. And they had down below, they must have had like 50 jukeboxes that they were just getting rid of, just throwing them away, not even selling them. And we had my friend had a big old like van truck, like a big one to load in, and he was getting a pinball machine there. And I was like, "Well, what are you guys doing with these?" And they're like, "Take what you want. If you want any of them, take them." So I ended up grabbing 3 jukeboxes. I got 2 of them working. Right now they're in the garage because they're really heavy as shit to bring in through a door and into the house, and I'd have to find a spot for them. But then I was like looking at all the other ones that they had there. I was like, "So you guys just throwing all these away?" And they're like, "Yeah." And I was like, "What about the records?" And they're like, "Oh, they're just going in the trash." And I was like, "You got to be kidding me. All the 45s from them." So I went through like 40, 50 of these machines, the ones that I can open. I even drilled some out. My buddy had a drill to open them because of the locks, and took all of the 45s out, like all of them. And I didn't have anything to put them in really to keep them nice. I had to just throw them in a box. I later kind of got them out into boxes, multiple boxes, and not all of them had records in them, but I'd say like maybe, there must have been at least 20 of them that were fully stocked with, like, some of them was like all 80s stuff, some of them would be all 60s stuff, and yeah, just it was insane. It was insane. So I loaded all those up, and I've gone through and like pulled out real choice ones that I kind of cleaned up and put into sleeves since then. But I still have like a couple boxes of them just like stacked up out in the garage I need to go through. But super score. I've had a few like really good scores like that through the years. I was on a job like in nowhere, Nevada, this place called Yarrington, that is really small town. That like really small. Like I was there for a year was doing solar work then. I was an electrician, and was there doing this solar field. It was for Apple computers for their new facility. They were going to power it with this solar field. And I was there for, yeah, it must have been at least 12 months. But one day when I first got there, I was staying in a hotel, and it was like this hotel with like this gas station, like a closed down gas station as part of it, like out in the parking lot. And one day I woke up on the weekend and they were having like a yard sale there, like a huge, huge yard sale. And so I went and started checking it out, and I see just thousands and thousands and thousands of records. I'm talking about like they had a whole room on the inside of the gas station, then outside, like boxes and boxes and boxes of vinyl. And I'm like, well, holy shit, like what the hell? So I start digging through it, and I asked the lady, I said, so how much are the records? And she said, everything at the garage sale is $5 a box. And I was like, you mean $5 a box? She's like, yeah, we have boxes over there. You fill a box with anything here, and it's $5. And I had lost my mind that, ran to the ATM, came back, started digging and just loading boxes. And I mean, a good majority of it was like country music and stuff, and like a lot of classic rock. But I found dude, I must have gotten like at least 1,000 records on that score. And I probably paid like $25 for it, 5 boxes, six, maybe eight. I kept like loading them, and then I'd pay her and I'd take them back to the hotel room. And so in my hotel room, I had like all these boxes of vinyl. I didn't even have a record player there or anything at the time, because I was just staying in a hotel. And it was a while before like I got my stuff out. I got a place to rent, moved my family there, and then like ended up later. It was like a year later that I went and got all our stuff out of storage up in Portland, Oregon, and had my record player back again. I did find like a cheap one at a thrift store, just like an old stereo one that I could play. But yeah, man, that was like another one of those just like random amazing scores that you come across through the years. I've had a few of those. Give them away. I should, I could probably find like, because I have doubles on a lot of those, especially those 45s that I got from the jukeboxes. I have doubles and triples on some of them. They're not great stuff, but it'll be like Madonna or something, or like, whatever, some 80s hit, Duran Duran. I'll have like four of them because they were in multiple jukeboxes, some big hit at the time. But yeah. Yeah, it made my day, man. I was blown away. It was super, super cool. At the time, that's when I wanted like some more old country. I was like kind of really digging old like outlaw country. I was liking to like drink some beers after work and listen to some outlaw country. I was going through a phase at that point, and really beefed up my collection there. Let's see. I wasn't saying give them away. I was just shocked that they gave them away. Dude, they weren't just giving them away. They were going to throw them in the dump. It was like I had to rescue them. They were taking all these jukeboxes to the landfill. And like once I realized like a bunch of them were full of records, I was like, man, I was like sad enough to see the jukeboxes get thrown out. But then when I realized like the records were going to be gone forever too, that's when I was like, I'm bringing all this stuff. I'm loading every single one of them, you know. Yeah, it was crazy. I can't believe they did that. Some of the jukeboxes I got were cool. There's this one from 1968, and it's got like a slideshow on it, like the old school projector slideshow, and it's all like 60s pinup girls, like super hot, like 60s, like in like scantily clad pinup girls, and it switches through and stuff. I got that working on it. I do need some new rubber belts for a couple. That's the hard thing to find. All that old rubber and all those old tape machines or jukeboxes or anything like that, reel to reels, that stuff goes to hell. What made me choose the MPC XSE? Well, I was on the one for 2-3 years and used that all the time. And I always kind of wanted to upgrade to the X mainly for the IO and all the Q links. Just the user interface, I think, is super intuitive and easier than than the one has a lot of dedicated buttons and stuff, but the X is really And so I was thinking for a while about an MPCX, and then when they announced the special edition, I wasn't fortunate enough in the past, when I was younger, to have an MPC 60 or 3000. They were always out of my price range. And I love the old color of the original, that the Akai color, and I was just like, man, I've been wanting an X anyway. Here's like the special edition. It had the upgraded RAM in it, which I knew would help for future firmware and adding more VSTs or whatever I wanted to do. And I just was like, pulled the trigger and got it, and I have no regrets. I absolutely love it. I think it's the goat of modern day samplers. I don't think there's anything else out there besides the MPC um, X that is like that top pro level tier of samplers. I have the Octatrack. I think that's super dope and has like some capabilities on it that you cannot do on the X, but it's not just a sampler. That's like a performance mixer and totally different animal. There's some other things out there that are really cool, but I think for our time and place right now, I think the XSE is kind of the top tier of modern professional samplers. It's got some deep synthesis in it. It's got the capabilities on it, the amount of MIDI and IOs and the outs and everything on it. I can sequence my entire studio with it, and it's got CV. I can do my modular, semi-modular stuff. Yeah, it's yeah, I sure did, man. Grabbed a beast. It is, dude. It is, and it's gonna be the centerpiece, I think, of the studio for like many, many years to come. I'd like to see something better come out from a company. It just seems like everything's getting smaller and more boutique, and like more people like small stuff, and I like just a big beast of a sampler that has all kinds of ins and outs and whatnot. I understand why somebody would want a live or the One Plus for, real estate in a studio can be like a big issue for some people. It's become an issue for me, but, and, wanting to play like with the Live 2, having the built-in speakers, the portable battery. Some people like to go make beats different places. I get what, Akai's been really smart that they've, kind of made models for each different type of person. And I think that's really probably been helped them in being successful over these last, uh, you know, what has it, 8 years or something since the X and the first Live came out, something like that. Yeah, let's go in the chat, see what you guys are saying. I played with the X in Guitar Center the other day for the first time. The navigation is a little different from the Live and the one button wise. Yeah, it is. It took a little bit getting used to, but I think once you start getting the dedicated Q links to everything, you don't have to rely on the touchscreen as much. I know the Live, you really have to rely on the touchscreen even more than the one. The one has a lot of dedicated buttons, and I love the workflow on the one. I actually still have my one. And once 3.0 comes out, I might keep one of them on the latest firmware and then just put one of them on to 3.0 so that I can kind of compare and see which workflow actually I prefer. I'm kind of thinking the 3.0 is going to be my jam, though, as long as they keep song mode and some of the things that they're talking about that aren't in the beta that people have talked about. But I want to get one now that you've played around with it. And I have nothing bad to say. The only one complaint, as I said earlier, that I liked on the one is the big encoder on the one you can use as a button too. So you can select through something and then select it. Doesn't have that on the X. And I think they'd really missed the mark. Releasing an XSE without that is kind of a bummer. You get real used to it because there's a enter button right below it. You just kind of, and then hit the button, and it's got like the up, down, left, right keys between it. So you adapt, but that's the only one issue that I think is kind of a missed opportunity to make. I mean, this thing would be absolutely perfect except for that one damn thing. But it is what it is. Live 2 will always be your favorite. Yeah, I know. I think that's probably the best seller. I don't know, maybe the 1 or the 1 Plus. Those have been super popular. But yeah, the Live 2, I know people really love those. Um, for me, I don't really make beats outside of the studio or music too much. If I do, I'll just bring like at work on lunch or something, I'll bring my little pocket operator. Um, and some headphones and just make stuff with that. Um, I'm not really like a big portable guy, and I don't use a lot of like the smaller gear. And it seems like, making that kind of backpack gear is the direction these last years of music manufacturers. It seems like everything's getting smaller and more, uh-oh. There's a button, a knob missing off of my electron analog key. I hadn't noticed that. Um, yeah, and I'm just not. That's kind of doesn't appeal to me. Maybe it's because I'm older. I like more of a professional in the studio type of gear, but I see a place for all of it, and the live kind of fits both of those. You can use it in your studio, pack it up, throw it in your backpack or whatever, jump on the train or the bus, or be at the park. I see the appeal of it. It's cool. I do have the SP404 MK2 if I wanted to. It's got the batteries. I wish it was the same type as the live where you could just plug it in and charge it, but you actually have to change out. It's got rechargeable batteries, but you know what I mean. It'd be real easy. Just plug it in when you get home, like your phone, and then take it out. But I haven't really clicked so much with the 404 MK2. I use it mostly for effects, like coming out of the MPC. It does pair nicely with that, but I thought I would use it more as a sketch pad and write beats and take it with me like for lunch at work and stuff. And I haven't clicked with it that way. Maybe in time it'll. Let's see. I'm sure with MPC3 coming, we will get an X update. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure there's going to be a new MPC coming out. Yeah, no, man. The jog wheel is not clickable, and that was a big bummer to me. Because I got really used to that. I like the interface on the MPC1 was really intuitive, and having dedicated buttons for almost everything, and that jog wheel clickable like was a super fast workflow. And that's the one gripe I have about the X and the XSC, but you get over it pretty quick. I don't often think about it. It's right below it, the button, so you can just kind of turn it and hit it with your thumb or whatever. But it's just one of those little things that you're like, really, you guys, that seems like an oversight and a missed opportunity. Definitely not a deal breaker. I got to get an analog heat too. Been hearing some great things about it. Just need to find a way to use it with my Key 61. You know what? I cannot recommend it enough. Like, listen to this beat right now. I was going through it. All right, that's with the analog. This is if I turn the analog heat off. Listen to the difference. Now I'm on enhancement. Now I turn it back on. Just gives it that little extra sauce. Now this is saturation. I'll start on the early. This is just a clean boost. Very subtle. And then you turn it off. It's subtle, but it takes away, it just gives it more of a punch. Now then you go to saturation, you really can hear it. It's on, off. On, off. Now let's go to enhancement. We're off. Enhancement's the setting that I find that I use the most. It's got a great filter in it. It's got LFOs, but just the natural. And then you can get really nasty with it. Bring it to mid drive. Might need to turn it down a little because it's. And then the next setting is rough crunch. Then it goes to classic distortion. Turn that down. Gets nasty. Then two more settings. We got round fuzz. Really crunchy nasty. And the last one is high gain. And you can set the amount of drive, how wet, the wet level. Woo. Big difference from, but just the enhancement alone, that's off, right? Let me turn it back up so you can hear. That's just the MPC without it, and then you turn it on. Yeah. So I recommend it, man. It's huge. You know what I like to do is run it through the heat and the SP4 MK2 using the compressor or some of the effects in that, and get a really, really nice sound. I also was running it. The Digitact has a really nice compressor in it, and you can run through that. And just sometimes I'll use the Digitact as just like an external box, and then go into the 404 to do some kind of, some of the weirder effects that they got in there. But yeah, huge difference, man. Huge difference in sound. So let's see. Oh yeah, I read that one. I traded my 404 MK2 for a vintage mixer console. I don't regret it. Barely used it. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I mainly have used it for like an effects box, and I have tons of effects and pedals and rack mount processing ones but it does do some cool things. It's just a very expensive effects, and I totally understand. And a vintage mixer can make all the difference, especially with the preamps. Let me show you this one. I'm getting ready to. I got this a while back. I haven't hooked it in the new studio, but I showed it on a live stream a while back. Actually, I can't really lift it right now. I got all that vinyl on it, but I've got a couple, but I got an old '70s British one. Might be able to just show the camera down here to it. Let's see. Nah, I won't fuck with it. But yeah, let's see. Nice, yeah. Viral. The analog heat is the secret sauce. Wow, that's a big difference. So use it for mastering. Yeah, I'll usually always run my final mixes. Will go through. I put the analog heat on almost everything. It's just like uh, it's just makes everything sound better. Even if I just used a little clean boost, saturation, but usually, yeah, I'll definitely use. I will say this if you get it. So Electron has Overbridge, right? So you can use all of their stuff or almost all of it. Octatrack doesn't work with it, but all the newer stuff you can use as like a VST, right? So if you use the analog heat, it's supposed to come in and out of the heat, like in your DAW. It does not sound the same as using the actual converters, going direct in and direct out. That's the only way that it like really gets like a good sound, in my opinion. I am not impressed at all with what it does. I think that there's better plugins that do get closer to what it does, but what it does when you just come in and out of the actual inputs and outputs, it's like a world of difference, in my opinion. Is that the MK2 or the newest one? I got the MK2. I don't have the effects one. Hey, what's up, Rainbow Mess? How are you? Thanks for dropping in. I use my 404 for the same. The analog heat. Wait, this darn heart is in the way. Oh, the same stuff the analog heat is used for. Yeah, I mean you can get some really good sounds out of the 404 that way. The compressor and stuff. The combination of the two of them, though, the analog heat and the 404, really gives nice sound. But yeah, I think the 404 is definitely super cool for that, to use for enhancing your sound and mixes. Okay, just relaxing. Awesome. Good to hear. You getting ready for NobCon? I know it's coming up next weekend, right? I got a 4-day weekend here for the holiday. I took yesterday off, and so I'm actually getting some studio time. Things are kind of slowing down a little bit, so but I'm glad you dropped by. Yeah, I really wanted to make it to NobCon, but it's just not going to happen, unfortunately. Maybe next year. If you don't know, guys, NobCon's like a convention, kind of like a smaller like NAM Super Brute type thing, where it's just based off of like synthesizers and modular stuff. Twisted knobs, NobCon. They got a lot of modular going there. Yep, got the COVID vaccine for it too, and hopefully I won't get COVID from the NobCon again. Yeah, that happened last year to you. Yeah, it's going around. I know Viral just had it. And yeah, anytime you get in the big crowds, you always got to worry about getting sick, and that sucks. That's the only reason I don't want to go to like any kind of festival shows or anymore or anything anymore, because I went to one a few years back. I think it was 2 years ago. I went to like a 5 band thing and ended up getting hella sick. And like, yeah, it's always a concern. Um, but yeah, hopefully you'll have a great time. I'm sure it'll be fun. A lot of companies are going to be there this year. I'm waiting to see if there's anything like cool announced um, at NobCon. I know ASM's going to be there. I think Moog's going to be there. I forget. I could look at the list, but there's quite a few companies going to be there. Dreadbox. Um, so yeah, you should take some videos. Do like a little live thing or video some like the floor of like what booths and stuff, and that'd be cool. Put it on your channel, Rainbow. Yeah, it's been nice here finally weather wise. It was a hot ass summer, and I work outside, so that sucked. It's going to be freezing here in a couple months. So um, very excited to have a little bit of time off and be able to get some time in the studio, because this summer was probably the least amount of studio time I've got in a while. So, and I decided to reconfigure everything in the studio and then didn't get it done. So things are like half plugged in and half not. So yeah, but yeah, just messing around with this beat. I was showing excuse me. I was showing. And you know what else? The granulator. The granulator is what I was kind of showing on this. If I go back to track 1, which is my drums, it's interesting. It's interesting on drums as well. So like I have this on 5th lag. It's cool to automate, you know. The granulator. That was kind of what I was thinking about doing a whole video on it, because there's not much out there on it, and I want to. I think it deserves more shine than it gets. I think it's people might not understand. A lot of regular beat makers might not be like hip to granular synthesis or just synthesis in general. Just sampling and vinyl and making beats. You don't always get deep into synthesis, but it's something that I think more people are becoming aware of and using. You can make weird stuff. So if I put that, let's go to track 2 and then get weird with that one. Turn your beat into something completely like different. You know what I mean? Back to the drums. Like make your beat like completely, which can be cool for like intros before you come into the actual, like have it kick in, have it be like kind of or an outro, or just transitioning into like a different change or something. I think it's excellent for that. So I'm gonna go back. Let's get weird with the sample itself. freeze it, you can reverse it. Bring in the grain shape, the length, feedback. Skew. Stereo. Do a lot of really cool stuff with it. The granular synthesis has been kind of like fascinating me for a number of years now. There's I was really close to getting what is the Tasty chips for a little while, just because I wanted something. But I found that just sticking with like pigments and the VSTs for now has been kind of scratching that itch. This one's beautiful octave. Let's go to the main screen and bring up the BPM of the whole sequence. Just make something completely different out of like, a beat and a sample. Just pretty cool. The potential and capabilities of the granulator and the MPC is fascinating. You can experiment and just find really cool things, resample that, and then like layer it with your other regular sample and do interesting things with stereo and panning and whatnot. It's just got so much potential and very slept on, I feel like. But yeah. See what you guys are saying. Maybe I'll do a little knob convid this time. You should. You totally should. Yeah, even if it's just a little, live thing on your phone or something, that would be awesome. Hey, what's up, Dead Nasty Records? Have tried, or do you have Cosmos Saturn 8 2S by Sonic Labs? I have not. I'm not aware of that. I'd have to look that up. I don't even know what that is. Do you have any hardware granular stuff like pedals? I do have. I have the hologram microcosm, which does some really cool granular effects. I've used that a lot. There's a number of videos from a year or two ago where I was using it like on everything. It's one of my favorite pedals. I grab it over here. This is a pedal from Hologram Electronics. It's called the Microcosm. Very famous and popular, not famous, but very popular in the synth kind of electronic world. It's got some really cool granular effects, glitchiness, multiple delays. It's a micro looper. You can loop on it and then do stuff and add to it. But it does some really, really cool granular kind of stuff. That's one of the only things I have in hardware that, I mean, you can, with like electron stuff and certain things, you can simulate granular synthesis. The main one I use is pigments in the box, So, but hey, Dead Nasty, what is that Cosmos Saturn 8.2S? I'm gonna have to check that out. I was watching one of your videos just the other day. Pretty cool, some of the stuff you're doing. Following along. It's I like that you use the Moogs and what you're doing. So very cool. Um, you guys check out Dead Nasty Records and give them a follow if you like. Some very interesting modular kind of sound making over there. But yeah, what's going on this weekend for you guys? Anything planned? We got a holiday here in the States. I know a lot of people have a 3-day weekend. You guys making some jams, making some beats, working in your studios? I've got a new track that I may, if I get enough time, may try and finish up using the Syntact and some VSTs with the Roger Lynn instrument, which has kind of been my main thing for the last 3 or 4 songs that I've put out for my videos. Um, as I've said before, like I was gonna do a collection, and I still might here of songs to actually put out as an album. But when I started this project of Trader of the Living, this electronic project, it's a visual audio experience. So for me, the songs go along with visuals for videos, and that's how I release them. Um, I found like after years of doing bands and having music on SoundCloud and stuff, like you only get so many views and whatnot. People's attention spans now with TikTok and stuff, it's hard to get them to sit down and listen to a 3-minute song. Now, put a video and visuals with it, and it becomes something more appealing to them. So I wouldn't say I'm catering to people with shorter attention spans or anything. Excuse me. Because I grew up, in the MTV era, and music videos were always something I enjoyed and, always wanted to make. And I did with, excuse me, I did make some videos. I had a friend made some videos for a couple of the bands I was in. And, but when I started this project, I was like, you know what? Because I was started messing around with making uh, digital art and started getting kind of heavily into that. And then making videos, and then I started combining as I was building up my arsenal and expanding my skills in electronic music. Decided to combine those two, and that's when the inception of Trader of the Living happened. And it started with Instagram videos and January. I started back in excuse me, maybe I'm getting the COVID. Started in 2020 with doing January, and that's, if you're not familiar, January is where you do a jam every single day of the month of January. And during that, I would add visuals and stuff to it, and that's when I kind of came up with the concept of doing a whole project that became Trader to the Living. And that's when the YouTube channel kind of started putting videos up here using, if you haven't followed my channel for a long time and seen like my really weird sound experiments with test equipment and like mad scientist stuff that I do, all of that kind of like came together. Like I don't just make beats or whatnot. I do like a number of different styles, play a lot of acoustic guitar and singer songwriter stuff. And I kind of wanted to combine everything in a weird way and do it all with music videos and see if that held more interest for people. And it's been what it is. It has its, those videos of the music that I put out don't get nearly as many views as usually when I talk about, the latest piece of gear or my thoughts on, some music related subject. And that's okay. Uh, I know it's not for everyone. And viewers of the channel will have like different reasons they tune in. So, but yeah, I like the idea of an audio visual combination of images and sounds. Like if you watch one of my latest videos, I have that sample in there, like a series of images and sounds. And when I found that, I was like, oh, that really is like the basis of what Trader of the Living project is all about. But yeah, let's see. Do you have any hardware, granular stuff like? Oh yeah, that's yep. Well, guys, I really appreciate y'all dropping in and hanging out. Anybody got any questions about anything in the studio or anything you wanted to ask me? Let me know. I'm gonna be now that I'm kind of getting this live stream thing down a little better. I really want to add a second camera so that I can like have it focused down and do, little tutorials or whatever, or like show just my techniques, my style of how I do things, how I process them after, like how I'll put them into different samplers, like the ASR X Pro or the SP202. To get different textures and pitch things down and get different sounds. Then I'll put it through tape machines, process through outboard hardware, analog hardware, through mixers, preamps, just different ways and techniques that I do. I was thinking about would be cool to just show my experimentation and my process. Some of it's just stuff that I've come up on my own. Some of it's stuff that I've learned from books and old books that I've read from like the 60s and 70s and Music Concrete and all different like techniques with tape and looping and stuff that I try to apply into new digital forms and use sampling and synthesis for. A lot of techniques I've been learning and stuff from like the Daydream Sound and there's others that I'll try different things out. I really want to. I've been was messing around, and I want to get back into it. The no input mixing with mixers, where you take the signal of something and put it back into itself, and then can kind of create an oscillator with that, and then get. You have to be very careful with the levels, but then run that through effects. That's something that I know Simon the Magpie did like a number of videos on that, and I was kind of trying experimenting with that a little bit before, and I'd like to take that a little further, using it with test equipment and different effects pedals, and then making tape loops from that and stuff. So problem is time for me working a full-time job. Working a full-time job and trying to be a creative can be difficult. There's I'm also, have family responsibilities and things that hold me back from being able to be as creative as I'd like to and do all the experimentations and videos and recording. But is what it is. I use the time when I get it. So in some ways, having less time makes it so that I'm kind of focused more, and because I only have this amount of time. I can't just sit there and noodle around. I have to like, okay, this is the idea in my head. This is the song I want to do. This is the recording. So in some ways, it's beneficial that you stay focused and it gives you like a goal, as opposed to just like you have no responsibilities or anything. When I used to not have as many responsibilities and a lot more time, I would find myself just noodling around and kind of not being as fully productive as far as making stuff to release. So there's good and bad about not having as much time. But yeah, so I might pop on later tonight. I'm gonna work on another beat that I was messing around with here. This was just something I came up with to show off the granulator. Kind of like it in that higher tempo, but let's bring it back down. Take it to like 88. And we'll go back. really cool way to just spice up your drums. I'm looking forward to 3.0 because you can automating on the arranger view, being able to automate the whole track and have the master effects. See, I have a 3-year-old and she doesn't let me do anything in my free time. That's why I'm on your stream instead of making music. Dude, I totally understand. 1000%. Mine have gotten a little older now, so that they can kind of entertain themselves a little bit while I get a little bit of time like this. But I 1000% get it. Hang on one second, guys. Okay, sorry about that. Almost out of coffee. I think I'm gonna probably wrap it up here for now, and just try and focus on the track that I was making. I showed at the beginning of the stream some of the, if you guys, for those who weren't here, I showed some vinyl that I dug up. I'm gonna do a little bit of sampling and just try and be a little bit productive this morning before I rush off to do a bunch of stuff with the kids and run errands and everything for the weekend. Appreciate you guys, all of you. Thank you so much for dropping in. Viral, Dead Nasty, Adrenaline, Beats in Bed, Rainbow Mess. You guys are all awesome. I really appreciate you guys stopping in and hanging out. Plan on doing a lot more of these live streams and trying to, just show different things, talk about stuff. Yeah, it's just kind of a cool thing to be able to interact with everybody. So I really appreciate you guys. Hope everybody has an awesome weekend. I will be around later, hopefully. Viral, take care, bud. I'll jump in on your stream if I'm near my phone or computer, or I'll check it out or see. Look forward to always your thoughts and the stuff you have to talk about. But thanks, guys. Peace. Remember, PMA, positive mental attitude, all day, every day. And don't let the little things drag you down. It's all just goes like this in life, just like a waveform. So PMA, all day, every day. That's what I try and live by, and I encourage everyone else to do the same. So peace out. Take care, guys.